It's the Kim Monson Show, analyzing the most important stories.
An early childhood taxing district? What on earth is that?
The latest in politics and world affairs.
I don't think that we should be passing legislation that is so complicated that people kind of throw up their hands and say, I can't understand that.
Today's current opinions and ideas.
And it's not fair just because you're a big business that you get a break on this and the little guy doesn't.
Is it freedom or is it force? Let's have a conversation.
Indeed. Let's have a conversation, and welcome to the Kim Monson Show. Thank you so much for joining us. You each are treasured, you're valued, you have purpose. Today, strive for excellence, take care of your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. My friends, we were made for this moment in history. Thank you to the team, producer Joe, Luke, Rachel, Zach, Echo, Charlie, Mike, Teresa, Amanda, all the people here at Crawford Broadcasting. Happy Friday, producer Joe.
Happy Friday, Kim.
And we've got another great show planned for you. And a real treat in studio with me is my friend, Professor Kurt Gerwitz. And you're normally in the 7 to 8 hour instead of the 6 to 7 hour. How do you like? You're going to get to see a beautiful sunrise.
I'm looking forward to a beautiful sunrise. This is not my time of day. I'm a night owl.
I said to Joe, I think that this is going to be a little challenging because Kurt's not a morning person. But you're here because of property rights.
It was important enough to wake up for, yes.
Yes, because you've connected me with Rachel Dufour, who is, is it et Voila?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, French Bakery, which is on Lookout Mountain Road, and apparently they're trying to use some zoning regulations to shut them down. Yes?
Yeah, I was on the internet and looking for a place to ride my bike, and the internet was it's the subreddit for co-bike, and they were very excited about this French bakery at the top of the mountain. And I was like, that's amazing. That's perfect. This is what the world needs. Uh-huh. I'm going to get on my bike. You ride to the top, and you get a chocolate croissant is your treat. And then the next post was, that they're going to, that the zoning commission of JeffCo is going to make them shut down is what the post said. Okay. And so I just took them up I talked to Rachel on the phone. I called her up and said, look, I need to know what's going on. We got Kim Monson needs to know.
And interestingly, it's so interesting how all these circles meet up because Patty McKernan, who is now she's running for Centennial City Council.
Oh, good.
And you had done a presentation for her Dare to Dialogue on AI, so we all get connected. And she also reached out about this, just like within 24 hours, regarding the bakery. Yeah.
So one of the things, one of the hero stories or the victim stories here, the reason we're on the side of the bakery is, I mean, it just keeps going how great Rachel is. Like she has 5 sons. She's from France, fell in love with America. She's got a couple grandkids now, but the bakery itself is given 30% of its profits to a nonprofit, and so it's a real charitable. She's just got such a good heart, and and so Patty knew about the charities. They rotate the charities, and they've got them lined up all the way through January. She's proud of that. And so Patty knew about one of the charities that's going to lose a little bit of funding from this. They can't make that much money. It's a bakery at the top of a mountain, but they're just such good people, and
it's an American. It's the American thing. This is assault upon property rights. Is, as you know, this is something that is just near and dear to my heart. So, of course, you knew the minute that we'd be all over this. And Rachel can join us in this hour. So, bless you. You're taking one for the team to be here.
I did some producer work for the first time ever for the
great.
Cause.
That's great. So, we're going to continue this discussion here. We'll focus on Kurt and Rachel in segments 3 and 4. And if you are hearing this during the 1 to 2 hour, because we reference the morning. And sometimes I think, should I try to make this more evergreen so we don't reference the morning and the sunrise? But I think if we just explain that the first hour is rebroadcast 1 to 2 in the afternoon, second hour 10 to 11 at night, I think that takes care of it. Okay, let's get into it. First of all, thank you to Laramie Energy for their gold sponsorship of the show, because it is reliable, efficient, affordable, and abundant power from oil, natural gas, and coal that powers our lives, fuels our hopes and dreams, empowers us to change our own personal climate. That is, we could be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And that is under assault because this whole industry that provides reliable, efficient, affordable, and abundant energy is under assault. So we will connect those dots. Let's see, what are all the things I want to talk about here? You and I don't get to go to lunch today at Hooters restaurants, unfortunately. But you love their fish tacos. I'm stuck in a rut. I'm always the guy who orders a sampler platter everywhere I go. And I had this one. I had a favorite restaurant in New Orleans, and they were too good to be true. Like they were doing something special with their pricing. It was like $7 for lunch. It was a really good deal. And I went and I literally ordered down the menu. I was going 3 times a week and just ordering down the menu. But for me, at Hooters, I'm stuck in a rut. I love those fish tacos. I know. And I normally get either the fish and chips or the great nachos. But they're sponsors of the show. They have locations in Westminster, Loveland, and the one right over here on Parker Road. And great sponsors of the show. This is probably the place where this whole property rights thing started with me. I think inherently I knew this, and property rights is inherent in the American idea that we could own property. And that property is also opportunity, the opportunity to go after your hopes and dreams. And when I was on city council, Hooters Restaurants wanted to open a restaurant in the community, and the PBIs, politicians, bureaucrats, and interested parties wanted to control things instead of having a free market. And I think that that's probably where it all began, Kurt. And you can take that. We'll talk about some headlines here in the next segment.
And now we all benefit from your story, because now we get to hear you, and you get to fight the fight and keep America free.
We're working on it. So a couple of things. Our word of the day is, and I'm not sure, you probably have read this book. If I live long enough to read all the books that I have, I'll be 250 years old. But I was dusting some shelves, and I found G.K. Chesterton, The Everlasting Man. And I get some quotes from G.K. Chesterton, he was an Anglican, eventually became, I think, a Catholic, but great quotes. And anyway, he'd written this book, The Everlasting Man. And I've just read one paragraph. I'm like, what on earth is he talking about? So are you familiar?
I am not familiar with it. I'm going to pull it up here and be able to say something smart about it, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, while I'm doing that, we're going to do several other things. And the first thing is to get to our word of the day. And I'm thinking I pull this from The Everlasting Man. But the word of the day is not right at my fingertips here.
So that book is divided into 2 big sections. Number 1, The Man in the Cave. And number 2, The Man Called Christ. It's part history, part theology, part philosophy, and part, Chesterton doing what Chesterton does best, turning common assumptions upside down with humor and paradox.
Okay, so stay tuned. Let me know how I do on that. So sophistry. It's a noun. It could be a plausible but fallacious argumentation, or the art or process of reasoning or logic. Sophistry, I think that we're going to have a legislative session, the special session beginning next week on the 21st. And I think there'll be a lot of sophistry, which would be plausible but fallacious argumentation coming out of some of these politicians and bureaucrats and interested parties' mouths. Next thing is our quote of the day. And actually, I think I'm going to save that for the next segment, because, as you know, there's 2 nonprofits that I just totally highlight, support, and one of them is the USMC Memorial Foundation. And on the line with us is the president of the Memorial Foundation, Paula Sarles. She is a Marine veteran. She is a Gold Star wife, and she has a love for our country and our military and our veterans, and she works tirelessly with her team to continue to make sure that we don't forget. We must remember. So Paula Sarles, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me, Kim. Good to be here.
Good to have you. And I cannot believe it. When you first mentioned to me that there would be the 48th anniversary celebration of the Marine Memorial, which is out at 6th and Colfax, on August 23rd, that sounded like a long time from then. But it's next week. I can't believe it.
I know, next week. And it just came up really fast. But we're all ready for it, and we're excited to meet Dave and have him come sing for us again and just have a good time.
So tickets, people can buy them where, Paula Sarles?
Well, they can go to usmcmemorialfoundation.org, and there's a banner at the top. You just click on it, and it'll take you right there. And you can either buy a brick and sit on the VIP rows right up close and personal, or you can just donate $50 and bring your own chair and enjoy the evening. It's really, really nice. So and we'll have a food truck out there with hamburgers and hot dogs, all American food, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I love that. And so let's talk just a little bit about the Buy the Brick program and what that is exactly. So, and there's a couple of, at least two different pricings on different sizes of bricks, right?
Right. And there's 5 walkways depending on how you want to, where you want your brick, and 2 sizes. And the price is dependent on that, but anywhere from $125 to $400. So it's affordable for anybody. And if you need help with the wording or what you want to put on it, just let me know and I'll help you with that. So, it's donating a brick, and then once you've paid for it, then we get a certificate made and sent to you as a keepsake until the bricks are laid when we actually do the remodel, and we have quite a bit of money to raise until we get there, but you have the certificate until then, and we'll notify everybody when that happens.
And Paula, I've purchased 2 bricks. One for my father's cousin who was killed at Pearl Harbor, and his remains were identified a few years ago, and he was brought home to Mound City, Missouri, to a final resting place, which was pretty amazing. And then I also purchased a brick for my father that passed on a few years ago, and he was United States Air Force. And I think my dad was always difficult to buy something for, because he was pretty content with everything that he had. But I think that was one of the most precious gifts that he had, was getting that certificate. And I'm so glad that I did that before he passed on, and I'm very excited about that, the certificate that he received, and then also that when the memorial remodel is done, that he will be memorialized there as well. So I would say to people, don't procrastinate on buying a brick for your loved one, because seeing them when they get the certificate and just knowing that they'll be honored, it's a really big deal, Paula.
Yeah, it is. And we've gotten them for different veterans that have passed, but it's really nice when they're still living and they can see the certificate and the brick, and they know it's going to be laid. And,
I think
in
so.
their honor, and they just cherish those certificates so much.
They do. So how can people get more information about the event and just all that you're doing?
Well, they can go to usmcmemorialfoundation.org, and there's an email address on there. If you want to email and talk, so just let me know, and we'll, if you have any questions or need help, we'll help you with that.
And again, that's
usmcmemorialfoundation.org.
Right, usmcmemorialfoundation.org. And thank you. You've asked me to MC the event next week, so I'm really excited about that as well.
Yeah, we're excited to have you there, as always.
Paula Sarles, thank you for all that you do for our country and for our community, and I'll see you next week.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
And I am just blessed to work with so many amazing people And another group is the Roger Mangan State Farm Insurance Team. And they can create personalized insurance plans to cover all your needs, from protection for your cars to your home, condo, boat, motorcycle, business, and renters coverage. Contact the Roger Mangan Team now at 303-795-8855 for a complimentary appointment. Like a good neighbor, the Roger Mangan Team is there.
Car thefts, hailstorms, and uninsured motorists are presenting unique insurance challenges for everyday hardworking Coloradans. The Roger Mangan State Farm Insurance Team knows that when you need to make an insurance claim, financial strength matters. State Farm consistently receives high marks for the company's financial condition and ability to pay claims. For that peace of mind, to know that you are working with a financially strong company, contact the Roger Mangan Team now at 303-795-8855 for a complimentary appointment to assess your insurance coverage. That's 303-795-8855. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Award-winning realtor Karen Levine with RE/MAX Alliance understands the importance of home ownership. Karen Levine works diligently at the local, county, state, and national levels to protect your private property rights. With over 30 years' experience as a Colorado realtor, Karen Levine will help you navigate the complicated metro real estate market, whether you are buying your home, selling your home, considering a new build, or exploring investment properties. Kim Monson highly recommends Karen Levine. Call Karen Levine at 303-877-7516. That's 303-877-7516 for answers to all your real estate needs.
Do you want to see a hospital built in parks and open space zone land? Do you want more developer-friendly rules in the Land Development Code? Do you want a psilocybin facility next to homes? Arvada City Council needs to hear from the community on August 19th at 6 p.m. Visit RalstonValleyCoalition.org to learn more. It's too late when the bulldozers show up.
Focused and wise marketing is essential for your success, especially during tough economic times. If you love The Kim Monson Show, strive for excellence, and understand the importance of engaging in the battle of ideas that is raging in America, then talk with Kim about partnership, sponsorship opportunities. Email Kim at kimmonson.com. Kim focuses on creating relationships with individuals and businesses that are tops in their fields. So they are the trusted experts listeners turn to when looking for products or services. Kim personally endorses each of her sponsors. Again, reach out to Kim at kimmonson.com.
It's finally Friday. I'm free again.
It is Friday, and do you want more freedom and confidence with your money? Mint Financial Strategies can help. They're an independent firm with over 25 years of experience, and as an accredited investment fiduciary, they put your best interests first, always. With a strategy-first approach, they'll help you build a plan that fits your life. So call Mint Financial Strategies today at 303-285-3080. And in studio with me is my friend, Professor Kurt Gerwitz, and really excited about what we're going to focus on in segments 3 and 4 regarding property rights and a French bakery.
Yeah, hopefully we can avoid some sophistry.
Well done.
Plausible but fallacious arguments.
Well done, well done. Let me get over here. On Fridays, I like to share a quote from the Medal of Honor quote book from the Center for American Values. The center is located in Pueblo on the Riverwalk, and I haven't been down there for a little while. I need to get back down there.
I've never been. You got to take me.
Let's do it. Let's do a road trip.
Road trip.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll figure that out because it really is a special place. And I'd love to get your perspective on it as well. But they focus on these Medal of Honor quotes and this. They have the Portraits of Valor of over 160 Medal of Honor recipients. And what I really love, and I can only really focus on a few each time because these portraits are beautiful that have been done, and they have their quotes there. And then I just look at their eyes and I think, what they did. A lot of people say the Medal of Honor guys, a lot of them may not talk about that day. The reason is because they received the Medal of Honor for actions they took on one of the toughest days of their lives. And they've stepped forward to save other people's lives. And so it's pretty remarkable stories.
They call them the silent generation, some of that, right? That's like, You mentioned your was it your father, your family member who was in World War II?
I had 3 uncles.
3 uncles.
Yes, and they never talked about it. I had no idea. Here we're all these little kids. We'd have a family reunion, sometimes on Sundays in the park, and we would all be hanging out, and all the adults would be sitting around talking. I had no idea about those 3, the stories that they had.
Yeah, and some of the horrors they've seen. My wife's grandpa stormed D-Day.
Did he really?
Yeah, and they got him a brick. I know they at least got him a brick at the St. Louis Cardinals baseball stadium, but I think they got him a brick at the World War II Museum in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is, that city is dear to my heart, and that museum is amazing.
I have not been there yet. That's on my
road
bucket
trip.
List. Yeah, bucket list of things to do. So getting into this is from George C. Lang, United States Army Medal of Honor recipient. He was born in 1947. He died in 2005. Actions that were taken on February 22nd, 1969. So he was probably, 22 years old.
Vietnam, probably.
Yeah, Vietnam. And in the book, it goes through World War II, then Korea, Vietnam, and then I'm just going to start over once we get through all those. So, because it's important that we keep these stories alive. But this is his citation. It's for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, Specialist 4th Class Lang, Company A, was serving as a squad leader when his unit, on a reconnaissance in-force mission, encountered intense fire from a well-fortified enemy bunker complex. Specialist 4th Class Lang observed an emplacement from which heavy fire was coming. Unhesitatingly, he assaulted the position and destroyed it with hand grenades and rifle fire. Observing another plate, Kurt, I just want to think right there, to throw a grenade and get it right where it's supposed to go, I think that's kind of amazing. But anyway, observing another emplacement approximately 15 meters to his front, Specialist 4th Class Lang jumped across the canal, moved through heavy enemy fire to within a few feet of the position and eliminated it, again using hand grenades and rifle fire. Nearby, he discovered a large cache of enemy ammunition. As he maneuvered his squad forward to secure the cache, they came under fire from yet another 3rd bunker. Specialist 4th Class Lang immediately reacted and assaulted this position and destroyed it with the remainder of his grenades. After returning to the area of arms, cache, his squad again came under heavy enemy rocket and automatic weapons fire from 3 sides and suffered 6 casualties. Specialist 4th Class Lang was one of those seriously wounded. Although immobilized and in great pain, he continued to direct his men until his evacuation was ordered over his protests. The sustained, extraordinary courage and selflessness exhibited by this soldier over an extended period of time were an inspiration to his comrades and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say something about, I don't want this to sound trite, but the Americans' grenades were, they're just the ball that we throw. Because we play baseball. If you watch the movies, the Germans had theirs on a stick because they just never played baseball. So they're over there playing soccer, and so they threw a stick and we threw a ball.
Well, I was thinking about that as I was reading this about baseball. But to be able to throw a grenade under that kind of pressure and hit where it is pretty amazing. But I didn't know that about baseball.
They're pretty scary though, the whole thing. It's
yeah.
pretty violent and lots of death and murder. And war is horrible. I was listening to some quotes from Eisenhower.
It is terrible, and he knew it.
Oh, he said he hated it so much that his hatred may have blinded him.
Oh, I had not read that.
Yeah, he was aware of his own. That's how much he hated war. But I take his side, of course. But
so, as you know, America's Veteran Stories was precipitated by a trip that I took in 2016 with a group that took 4 D-Day veterans back to Normandy, France. And all those 4 guys, and we got very, very close. There was 26 of us in the group. And I didn't quite understand what I was actually witnessing as we were going through that and standing on Omaha Beach. And now I'm losing my train of thought, what I was going to tell you about on that. Well, I know what it was. There's the picture of Eisenhower with the paratroopers with their faces blacked out that they were going to go in and jump behind enemy lines. Paratrooper means you jump in behind enemy lines and then you're in infantry. And one of the guys we were with, Guy Whidden, was just off to the side from that photo. And I just can't imagine what was going through Eisenhower's mind, because they had even said to many of the guys that were going to storm the beach that you're not going to make it. And they did it anyway, which is amazing to me. And
That gives me the chills.
Yeah. Eisenhower knew and the responsibility of all these young men's lives is amazing. But this is from George C. Lang, United States Army Medal of Honor recipient. He said, "May God bless each of us always, and may each of us always strive to be worthy of his blessings." And that's George C. Lang. I love that. So, okay, couple of headlines, because I've really been thinking about property rights, liberty, and as you all know, I am very concerned about Xcel Energy taking people's land through rural El Paso County and rural Elbert County. And I went out to the hearing where there were well over probably 200 farmers and ranchers taking time out of their day to make public comments about, we don't want you to take our land. But Xcel is doubling down. And this is from Complete Colorado. It was published yesterday. Xcel sues Elbert County over massive power line permit denial. And now what I think is in play, because we've got a really informed listener, Jenny, said that I'm wondering what the hurry is with Xcel Energy. And apparently there is another corridor that is already approved that they could use instead of taking people's land going across Elbert County and El Paso County. And bear in mind, the people in Elbert County and El Paso County don't benefit from this transmission line whatsoever. But I think they're trying to get power that is the intermittent, unreliable power that is being generated by solar panels and wind. I'm not opposed to those, but the only way they're working right now is because of significant tax credits. And Kurt, as you well know, I don't like government putting its finger on the lever and trying to push one thing over another. And so those tax credits are possibly going to disappear soon. And so if we can delay this transmission line long enough, then it would not be as financially viable without the tax credits to take these people's land. So that's a fight that I'm in for.
I've never even heard of Elbert County until recently. This is a complete change of subject. I apologize, but I now love Elbert County because I'm going down for a 10-day silent retreat with the Buddhists.
Oh my gosh, in Elbert County?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when I was living in New Orleans, I wanted to do this. It's called the Vipassana Retreat. It's dhamma.org, and there's 20 centers in the United States. They're all it's a free thing. It's hard. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to see another sunrise to apply to get accepted to this. I've been trying for 10 years. When I was in New Orleans, though, the closest one was in Atlanta, Georgia, or in Texas. And so that wasn't very close. I had to travel. But here we are in God's country in Colorado, and there's one just 150 miles southeast of 50 miles then southeast of here. And yeah, so I'm going to go be trained by the Buddhists to sit in silence.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, no one in my circles believes I can do it, but yeah, I guess while I'm there, I'll pray for the correct outcome of the.
And the correct outcome is protecting private property rights.
To not steal people's land.
That's exactly right. And so, okay, let me make sure I'm getting everything done that I need to get done here. Okay, let's go to break, because speaking of property rights, we've got to protect a French bakery. And I don't know the whole story on it, so we're going to get it here. Kurt Gerwitz, thank you for bringing this forward. And these are just important discussions. And we will talk with Alicia Garcia and Teddy Collins with the Second Syndicate. And also, Teddy is co-owner of Spartan Defense in Colorado Springs. And so I really appreciate their sponsorship.
The Second Amendment was established to ensure that all individuals have the right to resist oppression, stand firm against government overreach, and protect our ability to defend ourselves, our families, and our freedoms. Today, that right is under relentless attack in Colorado. Colorado's premier grassroots Second Amendment organization, the Second Syndicate, is on the front lines, fighting to preserve and protect your constitutional rights. We expose the most pressing threats to the Second Amendment and provide the education, resources, and tools to stay informed, empowered, and prepared. Join the movement, protect your rights. Visit thesecondsyndicate.com. That's thesecondsyndicate.com, where the second is first.
A serious accident or a life-changing injury can leave you with seemingly insurmountable physical, emotional, and financial challenges. How will you be able to afford your medical bills? What if you can't return to work? The attorneys at Bozen Law understand the immense stress you are under and want to help. Bozen Law's attorneys have decades of experience helping people like you navigate some of the most difficult times in their lives. Bozen Law can provide the guidance and support you need to get back on your feet. Call Bozen Law now at 303-999-9999 for a complimentary appointment. That's 303-999-9999. Don't delay.
It's in the middle of summer and our AC just went out.
Hey, don't worry about it. I got a guy.
The basement flooded and there's the kitchen remodel.
Forget about it. I got a guy.
Honey, it's hard to trust you when you use that voice.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. It's not just any guy. It's Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They bring craftsmanship, common sense, and integrity. Call or text at 303-995-1636, 303-995-1636.
There's so much noise coming at us. Sometimes it is difficult to make sense of it all. How can you sift through the clamor for your attention and get to the truth? The Kim Monson Show is here to help. Kim searches for truth and clarity by examining issues through the lens of freedom versus force, force versus freedom. Tune in to The Kim Monson Show each weekday, 6 to 8 a.m. with encores 1 to 2 p.m. and 10 to 11 p.m. on KLZ 560 a.m., KLZ 100.7 FM. The KLZ website, the KLZ app, and Alexa. Play KLZ. Shows can also be found at KimMonson.com, Spotify, and iTunes.
Thank God it's
yes, it is Friday. In studio with me is Kurt Gerwitz, Professor Kurt Gerwitz. And you have brought a story to me, Kurt Gerwitz, which is very important. And we have on the line the owner of the French bakery, Rachel Dufour. Rachel, welcome.
Thank you. Bonjour, everybody. Thank you, Kim and Kurt, for having me.
Well, great to have you. I'm going to let Kurt kind of set this up, and then we'll go over to you, Rachel, to find out exactly what's happening. So, Kurt.
I think Rachel will tell it better than I do, but let me try to summarize, and she can fill in my gaps here. You know, she's from France, comes here, falls in love with America, and that just pulls at my heart. We want the rest of the world to look at us as the best. We are founded on an idea. We want to be a city on a hill, and we want to be a place where immigrants want to come to this country because it's the best country on earth. And she says, you know what America needs? You know what Colorado needs is a French bakery. Her sister Ruth, who had a PhD in economics, working with the German government, complete huge pivot in their lives. Like, America's the country where you can change your career. And she goes and studies extensively French baking and French cooking, and they get this property at the top of Lookout Mountain, and it's this lovely bakery. What brought me in was, I heard about the story, and then I was there, and I had the best chocolate croissant I've had, in my life, if I may.
Well, and that's saying something because you were in New Orleans, and there's amazing bakeries there. So this is something, if to say that it's right here in Colorado.
Well, that's the thing is I don't want to lose this French bakery to New Orleans. They have enough French speakers and French food, and it's delicious, and we need some here. And so, and then, just one day in September, a lady shows up on the property and says, "You're not to code. We don't like what you're, these stories sometimes they have like that precursor of what's to come. And Rachel will tell you they had this trouble with the carports, these metal tents that you put cars under, and they're like, oh, the government said you can't have that 200 feet. And she's like, well, it's exactly 200 feet. Can we, I thought, can we shave it down to 199 to make it compliant? And, Rachel had done everything, by the book. She had asked everybody along the way, is this okay? Can I do this? It's just so sad that you have to lay prostrate before government in order to get anything done here. But she was still doing that. She was doing everything right. And then, surprise, surprise, now she's got an issue with there's 2 trailers and a container on the property. She's doing good work with taking the leftover coffee grounds, and you can turn them into another product. You can burn them later. And so she's got a container that does that. She painted it nice. It's the nicest looking property in the mountains, and yet it is the government's position that it's not good enough. They want it to be she's going to have an uphill battle because someone's sleeping on the property, because a baker is baking at 3 a.m. and so and it's a family affair. And they just have somebody catching a couple Z's before baking in the wee hours of the morning. And maybe I'll just let her fill in my gaps here.
So Rachel, the story just came to me this week from both Kurt Gerwitz and my friend Patty McKernan. And I thought this is really interesting that these two things are coming together. So Kurt's given us some information. Tell us about how you chose this property. Do you own the property? Just set all this up for us.
Yes. So we own we have a nonprofit providing counseling for pastors, missionaries around the world, and we thought, how can we support a nonprofit like with a for-profit and a bakery, bringing French bakery to Colorado? We fell in love with Colorado. Was the greatest idea I think we had inspired. So my sister did the training, we came, and we were about to open a bakery in March 2020 when everything closed down. It took us that long to find another place. We loved when we arrived on this property on Lookout Mountain Road. We fell in love with the place, and we don't own it, we lease it. But before we enter the building, I asked the realtor, we will need a trailer. In France, bakers live above the bakery because we need to work at night and to have everything fresh every day at 7 a.m. So I explained the whole concept with the 2 trailers, gave the sizes. They will be on wheels. They are a vehicle. We have a VIN number. We need to be on site night and day to launch the bakery and build a team and all of this. This will work. This will happen for 2 years. Will the landlord be okay? And the realtor said, I'm part of one of the zoning commission that decide these kind of things. Yes, it will be okay. We talked with the landlord. He agreed. We bring the trailers on the land. We have a lease with him. So we agreed, and we asked our realtor to call zoning and explain the whole thing. Will it be okay? What do we need to know? And over the phone, I didn't know, but over the phone they said, yes, you will be okay. You will be okay. So everybody said, or orally, you will be okay. It's in our LOI. Day for day last year, we bought the trailers on the property and then got everything ready to launch the bakery. And in September, like Kurt said, this lady from zoning came and screamed at us, and she was very mad and very upset because she went to the wrong address and other neighbors. She was ready to do the violation citation when she realized it was not the right place, so she was all worked up about that. And she said, can you...
Let me just stop there for just a second, Rachel. You're saying that there's somebody that has come from planning and zoning to want to tell you that they have a violation, and they don't even go to the right property. I find that a little... I'll just leave it out there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then she said, do you want to put an anonymous complaint against this neighbor so I can do my violation citation with them? I'm like, no way. Sorry, this is not what we do. We want to build a community. This is part of our dream. I'm not doing this, but someone did. Maybe it's not even someone from our neighborhood, but someone did an anonymous complaint would trigger that. And from September, a few weeks after our dad, my sister, and my dad passed away, so we were all like, you know how difficult it is. And we called the zoning. We said, we are so sorry. We thought we were okay. What needs to be done? We want to be compliant. And they said, okay, do this, do that. Since September, we followed all the steps until they said, we are not even going to finish your permit because we will deny it. Now you have to remove the trailers on Monday, this coming Monday. And someone from zoning does not understand the whole concept because this guy says, I'm going to read what he says. If they need to be close by to watch things bake or run the stores, we don't watch things bake. We do a lot of work before we open.
Sure.
And he said they can just commute like everybody else, but we cannot. So we've tried and to work with zoning. We're still hoping something will come out of that, so they can give us couple of years to, launch the bakery, build a team, and after we will move the trailers. That's not our dream to sleep where we work.
It is so interesting, Rachel Dufour. My first job was at Daylight Donut and Chicken Inn. And so I know that that's not a comparison to a French bakery.
It's the opposite.
But it was great. But I remember I should have actually paid him for my first job instead of him paying me. But because learning to show up for work and work with people. But I remember Mr. Schmidt, and so I was from a small town, so he could live very close to where the bakery was. But he was in at 3:30, 4 in the morning, so that at 6 o'clock when they opened, there was fresh donuts for people to eat. So a chocolate croissant doesn't just show up at 7 a.m., right, Kurt Gerwitz?
No, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best food in the world is street food, and I'm thinking of these beautiful villas in Europe where or even in Southeast Asia, of course. Like people have to sleep there because this is it's blowing my mind that we would throw a wrench into this system. And Rachel had made the point to me, and I'll just help her make her point here. Isn't it weird that the zoning police have an opinion on how to run a bakery?
I find it interesting, and I actually have a whole bunch of other questions for you. We're talking with Rachel Dufour, and she's the reason that Kurt Gerwitz is in hour number one, because she's got a bakery that's going to open at 7 o'clock, right, Rachel?
Yes, correct.
Well, I thought if she could wake up at 3 a.m., I could wake up at 4 a.m.
Thanks, Kurt, for coming so early.
Okay, so we're going to continue the discussion. This is about property rights. And when I say at the beginning of the show that it's not compassionate nor altruistic to take other people's rights, their property, their freedom, their livelihood, their opportunity, that's what we have right here, is they're trying to take away opportunity. And that's not the proper role of government. And this other thing, I have so many things. The idea that the zoning police person would say, hey, how about you put in an anonymous, again, the word anonymous, if you don't have the guts to put your name on something, I don't think it really matters, but to put in an anonymous complaint against your neighbor that they suggested that, because then that way that can trigger them to go in and try to take control of that property as well. So these are important things to talk about, and we have these discussions because of our sponsors. And if you're looking to buy a home right now, mortgage rates are moving around a little bit, reach out to Lauren Levy.
High inflation and increasing property taxes are making it more challenging for seniors to make ends meet. If you're 62 or older, a reverse mortgage may be the solution for what's keeping you up at night. It is essential that you understand the process and work with a trusted professional. Mortgage expert Lauren Levy will help you craft solutions for your unique circumstances, whether a mortgage, a second mortgage, or a reverse mortgage. If you'd like to explore what a reverse mortgage can do for you, call Lauren Levy at 303-880-8881. That's 303-880-8881. Call now.
Is the outside of your home looking dull? Paint peeling? Maybe it's time to make your home radiant again. At Radiant Painting and Lighting, we strive for excellence in bringing both quality paint and service to your home. We treat your home as if it were our own. Quality products mean longer life for your paint, because who wants to paint every other year? At Radiant Painting and Lighting, we don't just enhance your space, we transform it. Give us a call today, 720-940-3887. Let our team of professionals make your home or business truly shine. 720-940-3887.
Do you strive for excellence as you work with your clients and customers? Does it make sense for you to add a unique and focused branding opportunity to your marketing portfolio? Would you like to access a broad customer base that loves our country and wants to make life better for ourselves, our neighbors, our colleagues, our children, and our grandchildren? Then you may be a perfect fit as a sponsor or partner of The Kim Monson Show. To learn more, reach out to Kim at kim@kimmonson.com. Kim would love to talk with you. Again, that's kim@kimmonson.com.
Franktown Firearms, in conjunction with Colorado CQB, will prepare you for real-world defense of your life and property. Imagine you get home and walk through your front door and something seems off. A smell, a noise, a shadow that shouldn't be there. What you do next makes all the difference. Franktown's Shoot House is the only facility of its kind in Colorado where they run live-action scenarios using airsoft. Real rooms, real cover, and real training with highly qualified instructors. And their training is available for people of all skill levels, including you. For June and July, when you sign up for a range membership at Franktown, you're automatically enrolled in CQB for free. You'll get discounted firearm classes, concealed handgun training, and more. Classes at CQB fill up quickly, so sign up now while you can. Go to klzradio.com/Franktown and click on the CQB link to learn more. Or just send them a question through the online form. Franktown Firearms, where friends are made.
And welcome back to the Kim Monson Show. Check out the website. That's kimmonson.com. Kurt Gerwitz is in studio with me. We're talking about, Rachel, I want to hear you say it. I would say at Voila French Bakery. But
Voila.
How do you say?
Voila.
Okay. Okay, and the owner of Et Voila French Bakery at the top of Lookout Mountain, or on Lookout Mountain Road. First of all, it sounds to me like one of the sticky points that the zoning police are having with you is that you have a trailer on the property so that the baker can get up and get ready and get things going, because you have to open at 7 a.m. and it takes a little while to bake fresh bakery items, croissants. It takes a little while. What I find ironic, Kurt Gerwitz, is what is happening in our state and our country. I know in Lakewood, which is part of Jefferson County, you talk about trash, people sleeping on the streets, and a lot of this is because of public policy. You talk about that they want to be careful about pollution, and then you drive through our cities, and there's trash and junk everywhere. There's people that are sleeping, on the streets, but yet you've got Jefferson County that wants to go after an entrepreneur with a French bakery because they can, I guess. And and so what this is as Kurt and I were talking during the break, we talk about property rights, and inherently that's what this whole thing is about, is your right to have the opportunity to go after your hopes and dreams, is what I see this as, Rachel.
Yes, when we had overall verbal yes from our landlord, put in the LOI over the phone with zoning, we built the trailers to match the bakery building. So we really thought we had the right to do it, because everybody said yes, it will not be a problem. You have a VIN number, there are trailers, make sure you are well connected, everything is deep buried, septic, water, everything is very clean. We even built the trailers to match the building because we thought we had the right to do it. And that's why I was baffled that, like you, the anonymous complaint, I would have said, forgive my second language English, but I would have said, they don't have the balls to come and ask us, tell us we don't like what you're doing. Someone did it anonymously. And yes, we didn't do it trying to do something that was not in a compliance. We thought we were okay until this lady came and screamed, and we started talking with them. And even since September until June this year, we thought we would find a solution and they would give us a temporary permit. That's only what we are asking for. We put the yellow sign outside. Sorry, I can't remember what it is, but for neighbors to be able to say, we don't want this to happen, and we waited and no one complained after that. We followed every step they asked for from us. So we are really hoping this weekend that our legal counsel can get through them so they can give us, a breeze and oxygen to life-saving permission to stay for a few years, because otherwise on Monday, and they are already saying it in emails, they will come and I don't know what happens. Do they put us to jail? I don't know, because I don't understand what's going on with this. Why is it not? Why we don't have the right to do that? But they're already saying Monday is your deadline, so you better have your trailers out by Monday. Our third grandson is going to be born in half an hour. It's a C-section, and so it means that we don't have my son at the bakery to help us with the weekend, which is beautifully very full with people on weekends. So we don't have the money to move the trailers. We have invested everything we have. We don't have the place to put the trailers, and we can't bake. So I don't know what happens on Monday. Do they come and put us to jail? I don't know.
So this is going to happen on Monday. Do you I'm trying to think here what to...
Well, my concern is that they'll probably just start fining you, right? Like they'll start building up they'll start creating a debt that you never signed up for.
Yeah. Right. Okay. No. So Rachel, how can we help right now?
We have the legal counsel talking with zoning today, hopefully. I really I don't know. I really hope the director, who is a very nice man, can do something. I cannot believe that the director don't have the power to do something like that. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. We've tried everything. I really hope someone will say, "Hey, we'll give them a break, work with them, so they have the permit and every document they require, but we need to keep the trailers on." I don't know what can be done.
Okay.
I don't understand the system. I don't know.
Well, the system, and I would really recommend that you listen to the show when we had Commissioner Sean Pond on from Montrose County earlier in the week. Okay. What he has uncovered is that we have these unelected bureaucrats with these boards and commissions that have tremendous amount of power, and we've got to change that. But right now, this is very time sensitive for you. So one of the first things is these planning commissioners are in the planning commission. They work under the auspices of the electeds, which would be your Jefferson County commissioners. And the commissioners in Jefferson County, these are the people that I would recommend that people reach out to right now. And let me get you the names for them. Here, I'm on Kurt, you go ahead.
While you pull that up, I'll say, I am looking at this Denver Post article, and so it's good. It has the GoFundMe link. It also has the change.org petition. I'll put those up today. I'll put those up on my YouTube channel.
Okay, where can people find that? Because I probably won't have the summary up quite we'll get it up, but...
you can always search my name, Kurt Gerwitz, and
you'll have it.
It'll look for the YouTube channel. It won't be on my website. I can't get it up there, but I can get it on the YouTube channel for K. Gerwitz. Okay. And it'll be the change.org and the GoFundMe. Those are two links that you can. One asks for signatures, it's really helpful. The other one asks for dollars, which is super extra helpful.
Rachel Dufour, are those links on your website by any chance?
They are on our social media. Yes.
Okay.
And yes, on the social media.
Okay.
So it's at Voila, and Voila is VIOLA.
VOILA, sorry.
Thank you.
VOILA.
Right. Okay, the commissioners, there's three commissioners in Jefferson County, Rachel Zinzinger, Andy Kerr, and Leslie Dahl-Kemper. They're all former legislators as well. I'd recommend people reach out to them right now. And then I've got a couple of other ideas on this, because we need to stand for the property rights, the opportunity for Rachel Dufour and her family to work hard and pursue their American dream. And when you were saying that she loves America, I was thinking of de Tocqueville. And of course, de Tocqueville, this quote is attributed to him. He said, "America is great because America is good. And it is not good to take away other people's rights and their opportunity." Rachel Dufour, your final thought, and again, what is your website?
I just want to thank you for bringing awareness, and we don't feel alone with you guys understanding what we are doing. And our website is evoilafrenchbakery.com. And our social media, Voila French Bakery, ETVOILA French Bakery. And I want to thank everybody for the support, our community and the neighbors, cyclists. Everybody has been awesome. And I really pray and hope we find a solution to appease zoning, compliance, and bring this dream to continue to be alive. We love what we are doing. We love to see you guys at the bakery. Thank you again.
I have chills. Okay. Kurt Gerwitz, your final thought on this.
Thanks for doing it. Yeah, I have found it when you go to change.org. If you just type change.org and then type in French Bakery, it's at the top of that.
Okay, great. And with that, our quote for the end of the show goes, I found this from Robert Louis Stevenson, and I normally try to go to Courage Quotes on Fridays because we have the Medal of Honor quote that we have at the beginning of the show. And he said this, and I think this is so appropriate. He said, "Everyday courage has few witnesses, but yours is no less noble because no drum beats for you and no crowd shout your name." And so, my friends, I would say let's show up here. Let's help save this French bakery. And again, at change.org, just put in French Bakery and you can sign the petition, right?
Yes.
Okay, today be grateful. Read great books, think good thoughts, listen to beautiful music, communicate and listen well, live honestly and authentically, strive for high ideals, and like Superman, stand for truth, justice, and the American way. My friends, you're not alone. God bless you. God bless America. Stay tuned for hour number 2.
And opinions expressed on KLZ 560 are those of the speaker, commentators, hosts, their guests, and callers. They are not necessarily the views and opinions of Crawford Broadcasting or KLZ management, employees, associates, or advertisers. KLZ 560 is a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
It's the Kim Monson Show, analyzing the most important stories.
An early childhood taxing district. What on earth is that?
The latest in politics and world affairs.
I don't think that we should be passing legislation that is so complicated that people kind of throw up their hands and say, I can't understand that.
Today's current opinions and ideas.
And it's not fair just because you're a big business that you get a break on this and the little guy doesn't.
Is it freedom or is it force? Let's have a conversation.
Indeed, let's have a conversation. Welcome to hour number 2 of the Kim Monson Show. Thank you so much for joining us. You each are treasured, you're valued, you have purpose. Today, strive for excellence. Take care of your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. My friends, we were made for this moment in history. Thank you to the team. That's producer Joe, Luke, Rachel, Zach, Echo, Charlie, Mike, Teresa, Amanda, and all the people here at Crawford Broadcasting. I got my blood pressure going here, producer Joe.
It got my blood pressure going a little bit, too.
Yeah. What about you, Kurt Gerwitz? Are you calm?
I meditate, so yes, I am. I'm drinking green tea right now.
I'm drinking coffee. This first hour, you can hear that if you didn't catch that, 1 to 2 in the afternoon. And this is Jefferson County Planning and Zoning. is trying to shut down basically Voila Bakery because they need to have their bakers on property so they can start baking early in the morning so that they can pursue their hopes and dreams. And I find it just so ironic. And she said the word that is the opposite of a free society, and that is, it's a compliant society. And boy, to live your whole life in compliance, looking over your shoulder, wondering whether or not you're doing something right. And bear in mind, planning and zoning, they ask for, passes on it all the time. And of course, we have out in Lakewood, they're doing a whole zoning rewrite when we talk with Karen Gourdet, who is running for city council out there. So you have work to do today, my friends. And that is, first of all, need to go to Jefferson County and the commissioner site. And you need to reach out to each of these 3 commissioners. It won't take very long at all. And let them know that they need to step in here and make sure that they save at Voila French Bakery. I'm seeing if I can...
Voila,
I should say that. Voila. Thank you. And so get there, and it may be... Oh, yep. You know what? I don't see a phone number. This is the other thing that I find so interesting is they should have those phone numbers right there. So we'll work on that. So that's the first thing. Next thing, change.org. You did this, Kurt Gerwitz, and I'm going to do that during the break. Save at Voila French Bakery. Sign that. They are in a time crunch, so all of us are sitting in front of our computers. All of us can do this right now or on your phones. And so go to change.org and sign the petition. Those are 2 things to do.
I don't think everybody's in front of their computer. I think half your audience is in their car right now, right?
So as soon as you get stopped, let's have you do that.
Pull over and pull out your phone. And,
pull over and do it. I've done that
before. And go to
before.
change.org and sign the petition for French Bakery at the top of Lookout Mountain called Et Voila.
Yeah. And the pressure needs to go to the electeds because the bureaucrats aren't going to really listen. So get to the electeds, that's the commissioners right now, and let them know that you've got some pressure, put some pressure on that. The text line is 720-605-0647. Of course, I'd love to hear from all of you about that. As you know, we look at these issues through this lens of freedom versus force, force versus freedom. It's not compassionate or altruistic to take other people's rights, property, freedom, livelihood, opportunity, childhoods, or lives via force. And we see this happening with under the guise of zoning. And I find it ironic. These electeds have, you drive through Lakewood right now, and I was at the CUT board meeting on Monday night, and it's out in Golden. So I drove down Colfax as I was coming home. Businesses that are put out of business, there's trash, there's homeless, and this is what the people, and Lakewood is in Jefferson County, they want to shut down a French bakery that verbally they were told that they are crossing every T and dotting every I. Mm-hmm. It's pretty frustrating.
Yeah, this story reminds me of my first job. You mentioned your first job at the chicken and donut place. My first job was also food service, and it was the Lake House in St. Louis, Forest Park. It was this, we were pioneers in this urban neighborhood, and there was this urban park that had been neglected for decades, and it was like the origin of this revival. Of course, everything's very nice now, but these are the people who take that financial risk, the economic pioneers, and they built this. You could get on a gondola and go around the lake in the park. It was really nice, and you could have a drink and some snacks. And I was working there, and they lost their permit, and imagine what happened next is the alderman's friend got the property. And they threw in like a lot of money and built it even nicer than it was before, but it was just a complete government theft.
And yes, and that is... And they can take opportunity. That's what's happening there. Now, a couple of things, and I want to get over here to Teddy Collins and Alicia Garcia with the Second Syndicate. And the Second Amendment is there to try to keep bad actors from acting bad. I'll put it that way. But anyway, this came in. Ben on the text line said what they'll do is they'll probably issue a stop work order and probably tell the bakery to shut down. The code specifically states that inspections are to be done without malice. Jefferson County has violated the code. And so anyway, I just about ready to hit send on the change.org. And again, just put in French Bakery. That is why our Constitution is so important. That is why our Bill of Rights is so important. That is why the Second Amendment is so important. So Teddy Collins, how about the segue from the French Bakery to our Second Amendment rights? Teddy Collins is a co-founder with Alicia Garcia of the Second Syndicate, great sponsor of the show. He is also co-owner of Spartan Defense, which is a firearms store which is located in Colorado Springs. How's that for a segue, Teddy?
Sure. Yeah. Good.
You crack me up because we haven't gotten to meet in person yet, Teddy, but you are a man of just right to the point. And of course, I embellish all this stuff over here. But Teddy, it's great to have you on the line. Alicia, what do you think about my segue?
You know, nothing surprises me at this point.
I know. That's what's so frustrating. So a couple of things. I had referenced a Denver Post article regarding at Voila French Bakery, but Teddy, and that was behind a paywall, but the article that featured you was not. I could read the whole thing. So you were in talking about all these new laws that have come into place here in Colorado. And what I see is maybe it's a little slower, but all of these new laws coming out of the state legislature is trying to put firearms businesses out of business as well. It's just maybe a slower process, Teddy. At least that's what I got from reading the article.
Absolutely. I mean, it's death by 1,000 cuts. That's the intent, and the true intent behind this, and the reason they're going after the firearms industry and the firearms stores in Colorado is because they're trying to take the constitutional right by going after the businesses that facilitate it. That's their goal. That's the new strategy. They keep getting smacked down in court on anything when they go after an individual's rights. So they're going after the basically the right to purchase at this point, the ability to purchase.
Well, and as president of the Colorado Union of Taxpayers, we watch all this legislation, and you had referenced that 6.5% excise tax on it. I think it was on ammunition, if I remember right. Well, or is that on everything? But ammunition.
It's firearms, ammunition. It's a mix of things. Yes.
Okay, and we obviously took a stand against that. But what will happen? Consumers, 6.5%. That's a hefty fee tax on something. Is what'll happen then is some people will go to out of state. They might be traveling and they'll pick up some ammunition there. And so what you start to see is a dink in your sales then. And so again, the people that want to shut down people's rights, our Second Amendment rights, they know what they're doing, I think, Teddy, down at the State House.
Oh, 100%. This is all intentional. And, I understand 6.5% on top of the 8.2 on average percentage points that you pay in sales tax. It's a lot. But at the same time, is businesses are shutting down in Colorado when it comes to firearms. And eventually, if you keep shopping out of state, if you keep going elsewhere, if you keep ordering online from businesses that are not local, you're not going to have anybody to facilitate your transfer. You're not going to have anybody to facilitate or to go and be able to go into a store and purchase ammo or firearms here in the near future if you don't support your local businesses. So I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but support your local store. Make sure that they survive, because without them, you're not going to have anybody fighting for you at the Capitol, and you're not going to have any way to be able to get to exercise your rights.
So important. And Alicia Garcia, what's your thoughts on all this?
Well, I mean, Teddy's a great partner, not only to me in the Second Syndicate, but also in the Colorado Federal Farms Licensee Association. So Teddy's also the vice president of that organization. I work as the director of public relations and communications for the FFLs, which are the federal firearms licensees that we have here in the state of Colorado. And he's absolutely right. If we don't do something to preserve this industry and these businesses, it's going to just be another way that they can restrict access. And by restricting access, they control what the people can do. And that is completely un-American. It's against everything that we stand for. And we want to make sure that we're not only standing up for these FFLs, but like he said, donate to them by supporting their business and making sure that if you are shopping local, make sure you support the businesses that are actually fighting for your rights, that are doing something, because they're getting attacked too. Not only are they getting attacked by the laws that they're being created, but they're being targeted as well. I work with Teddy very closely, as well as everybody over at Spartan Defense. And the day that these new laws and these things went into effect, there was a handful of those gun shops that were targeted for the very first day that these laws are expected to be, in compliance. There's a state knocking at their door with their clipboards and their pens, and they're ready to scrutinize and make sure that they can throw the book at people just for, being in existence and having to spend all this extra time and money to comply. So
there's that word again, comply.
Yeah, this is not easy to be resistant, but it's very important now more than ever that we keep persevering and pushing back.
Okay, so two things, Alicia Garcia. Well, first to you, and that is, how can people support you at the Second Syndicate?
We need your money. So feel free to go over to the Second Syndicate, the 2ndsyndicate.com, hit that donate button, because this is going to help us continue to not only have presence down at the Capitol, but to organize events the way we do, to keep people informed, to be on a show like yours, that way we can keep the word out there and people understand that we're out here in the fight. They can also buy merch there. They can, help us out any way they can by also spreading the word, subscribing, and letting us know that, hey, they support the Second Syndicate and they want to be involved.
Okay, and do you have any events coming up right now that you wanted to mention, Alicia?
Absolutely. We have an event on September 13th at the Damage Factory in the Denver Tech Center, and we also have an event coming up, I believe, on October 4th with Spartan Defense, where we're going to have a huge range day with a whole bunch of really amazing brands, including brands like Staccato and Q, which are very high-end guns that you can experience and come have a great time with those.
Okay. And Teddy, just tell us a little bit about Spartan Defense.
So Spartan Defense is located in Colorado Springs. We're family-owned and operated, and we specialize in the things you don't normally find at stores. We actually have a lot of exclusives that are statewide that you don't see in any other store. So come check us out. We also do training, and that's Spartan. Come out and see us, SpartanDefense.com.
SpartanDefense.com, and then the second, and that's the number 2ndsyndicate.com. Teddy and Alicia, it's great to talk with you. We'll talk with you again next week.
Thanks again, Kim. You guys have a great weekend.
Boy, we are Colorado's at the tip of the spear for all this. Did you hear the common words in all this? Compliant, and they knocked on your door. Compliant. That's not the country that we want to have. And we've got to stand up for our liberty, which is the responsible exercise of freedom. And the first thing to do is to engage in the battle of ideas. And that's what we do every Monday through Friday. It happens because of sponsors. And the Roger Mangan team, they know that there are unknowns that can keep you up at night. Right now, this whole liberty thing is keeping me up at night. And that's why the Roger Mangan team can help you, though, with your life insurance and your health insurance needs to replace lost income. So call Roger Mangan now at 303-795-8855 for a complimentary appointment. Like a good neighbor, Roger Mangan's insurance team is there.
It seems like we are getting squeezed everywhere. Inflation, high taxes, at the gas pump. Where can you save money? Well, when you bundle your insurance coverage with the Roger Mangan State Farm Insurance Team, you may save money on your insurance premiums. The Roger Mangan team will help you with a personalized plan to cover all your insurance needs for your home, auto, boat, and renter's coverage. For a complimentary appointment, call the Roger Mangan team now at 303-795-8855. That number again is 303-795-8855. Like a good neighbor, the Roger Mangan team is there.
The current level of interest rates is causing challenges and creating opportunities. For nearly 20 years, mortgage specialist with Polygon Financial Group Lauren Levy has helped individuals realize their hopes and dreams of home ownership, fund kids' educations through second mortgages, and access capital by utilizing reverse mortgages. Lauren's not constrained to work with just one lender. Because he works with many different lenders, Lauren offers you choices for your individual mortgage needs. Knowledge is power, and preparation leads to success. Call Lauren Levy at 303-880-8881 so that you are prepared for the opportunities in the mortgage market. That's Lauren Levy at 303-880-8881.
When you're looking for a premium quality painting experience or professional temporary outdoor lighting, call our friends at Radiant Painting and Lighting. The owner, Karen Gourdet, spent over 20 years in the customer service industry. She and her experienced professionals will treat your home as if it were their own and take great pride in their work. They only deliver excellence. When giving your home a beautiful new paint job, they use premium caulk and paint and will always deliver what they say. They don't just enhance your space, they transform it. When you want excellence, call Radiant Painting and Lighting at 720-940-3887.
Do you want to see a hospital built in parks and open space zone land? Do you want more developer-friendly rules in the Land Development Code? Do you want a psilocybin facility next to homes? Arvada City Council needs to hear from the community on August 19th at 6 p.m. Visit RalstonValleyCoalition.org to learn more. It's too late when the bulldozers show up.
Do you strive for excellence as you work with your clients and customers? Does it make sense for you to add a unique and focused branding opportunity to your marketing portfolio? Would you like to access a broad customer base that loves our country and wants to make life better for ourselves, our neighbors, our colleagues, our children, and our grandchildren? Then you may be a perfect fit as a sponsor or partner of The Kim Monson Show. To learn more, reach out to Kim at kim@kimmonson.com. Kim would love to talk with you. Again, that's kim@kimmonson.com.
It's Friday.
It is Friday, and welcome back. And are you ready for your financial freedom? We all are. And there's lots going on out there that's people trying to get into your pocketbook, but you want to make sure you have a plan. And Mint Financial Strategies can help. They're an independent firm and an accredited investment fiduciary. They always put your best interests first, which is very refreshing. Mint means more than money. It stands for a meaningful relationship, information sharing, a network of smart strategies, and a thoughtful advisor who puts you in control. There's no cookie-cutter plans. Everything is tailored to you. Call Mint Financial Strategies today. That number is 303-285-3080, 303-285-3080. Kurt Gerwitz is in studio with me, and we're talking about Voila French Bakery. And basically, Jefferson County is threatening to shut them down because of some zoning thing, which sounds like that they'd gotten the verbal that everything was okay. A couple of things, though, I wanted to mention. That is Rachel texted me, said, I forgot to mention that we are naturalized U.S. citizens now. That is how much we love this country. And then this came in on the text line. Let's see here. No, this, here we go. Thank you. And another listener said, internet purchases for firearms, ammunition, and accessories are also charged the 6.5% tax. So I would really recommend you get down to Spartan Defense and make your purchases there and support the business. I think that would be great. Okay, Kurt Gerwitz, this is another property rights issue. And certainly you can have government coming and knocking on your door and wanting to make you compliant.
Let me see your papers,
yes,
please.
Right. Or you can have them through taxes and fees, make things more expensive. You have less money in your pocket. And one of those things is property taxes. We have seen such an increase in property taxes because the Gallagher Amendment, the people of Colorado voted to get rid of the Gallagher Amendment. And we had both Democrats and Republicans that were pushing to get rid of Gallagher. In fact, some of the big consultants were getting paid to encourage you to get rid of Gallagher. Our voter's guide, we said, we don't think this is a very good idea. Your property taxes might go up. Well, guess what? They did. But what we're learning is there's this insatiable appetite by different governmental entities for more and more taxes, property taxes, trying to say it's for a good reason. And my next guest, Dana Bush, has recognized that there's something that's happening in Denver regarding a GID, which I had not really been familiar with a GID. And it's a general improvement district, which the people in that district would agree to tax themselves more for certain things that I think actually should probably have already been paid for out of their taxes that they've already paid. Dana Bush, welcome.
Hi, Kim. I'm really grateful to be on the show today, and I could speak for quite a long time about this. So where would you like me to start?
Okay, let's start first with property taxes. You live in Denver, and you pay a pretty, we don't need to give the amount, but you pay quite a bit in property taxes. And if you want to give your location so people, why don't you set this up for us, Dana? Tell us what you want us to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm down in the Cherry Creek North neighborhood where we have tremendous development going on. And we're a very beautiful area. We're blessed with many things. And so we were all quite shocked when we were told that we all wanted this general improvement district. And when I preface it that way, we received, in the area, we started receiving some postcards that looked no different than the one from the realtor and the landscaper and the art gallery down the street, requesting us to fill out a survey of wish list items, but never once said on these postcards, never made sure they got to the appropriate people, that anything that you would want on this wish list, you will be paying for through some kind of tax or fee or assessment. That would be managed by the mayor and the city council predominantly. And so this disingenuous way they went about even collecting data. And on top of it, the general improvement district encompasses a very large area. Besides my residential area, it's the shopping mall, it's the undeveloped land that East West Partners now owns. It's all of Cherry Creek East. It's now extending to a triangular area off of Colorado Boulevard and Cherry Creek Drive. And so they're now forcing us into a situation that none of us have asked for. So myself and several other people in our area are starting to raise awareness around this. We have a website, stopthegidinccn.com. But some of the egregious things that have happened is that we recently had a survey, one of these, again, surveys that really wasn't secure. They had to kick out over 200 votes because of, some kind of malicious bot getting in there. And in our neighborhood, it was, again, questions about, do you want beautification? Do you want art? Do you want some lighting? Do you want security? You had to get to the very last question to say that you weren't even interested. Several people didn't even get to the they weren't interested question, but in our residential area, over 65% of the residents said we are not interested, we do not want to pursue this any further. And now they're still pursuing it. They're forcing us into working groups to discuss all these things that they want to then tax us for. We're all just baffled. Like, how do you have those kinds of numbers that say we don't want this, and yet you're pushing us forward? You're putting us into working groups, and you're not listening to the people. And this is just a small percentage of people that even saw the postcard, that even replied to it. The disingenuousness of lying about how big this district is. I'll be quiet for a minute because you may have a question in here.
These surveys and these working groups, my experience on city council, this is the strategy. First of all, the surveys, typically what I've seen is they use taxpayer money to pay for a survey, and many times the survey leads you to the conclusion that the PBIs want to have accomplished. So government money used to do a survey and then what they do is they say X amount of percent of people that replied to the survey said that they want this. Well, typically, as you mentioned, it's a small percentage. Many times it's people in the know that are pushing the issue that have responded to that survey. Then the working groups that they're talking about, they use something that's called the Delphi method. And once again, it's something that they'll bring people in, and there will be some kind, and you won't even know it, a leader at the table who will, again, be driving the discussion to get to the conclusion that they want, but because they're coming to a consensus on something. Consensus, if we came to consensus, we'd still be paying to the British Crown right now, I think, Dana.
Sure. Well, and what's interesting with these current working groups that they're setting up in what they've identified as these 4 different areas, they're not even allowing us to do it in person. We're having to do it on Zoom. And we have actually found a location for them where they could do a hybrid meeting. And not only were we told no, but the consultants sent the most.
Consultants.
Yeah. Oh, and yes, and this same consultant is setting these up all over our city. Her name is Jamie Gillis. She runs B Centro Consulting. She actually is who ran against Michael Hancock for his final term for the Denver mayoral position. So she has already set one of these up in Ballpark, in Rhino. She's working on the one on Broadway Street. And, it's also this claim that these are services that your city would never pay for. And they keep trying to tell us, Kim, that the dollars that they would be pulling out of our residential area cannot be used anywhere else, not even, they claim, within the GID. So why is it then, if you don't need our dollars and we are so vocal we want to be pulled out, why are you not pulling us out? We feel there's a bigger reason. We have concerns that they could, because they'll lock us into 10 years. We have a feeling that they will maybe try and write a bond against us. Or we have a lot of city projects going through our area. We've got Denver Moves, we've got a bus route. Is this a way to siphon money? And oh, by the way, this is going to have this massive expense of managing this whole thing. So how much
somebody's going to get paid to do it?
Oh, yes, because they hire someone to run this, and we've been told that we will need to have attorneys, we'll need to have accountants, we'll need to have. It's so complicated. And initially, the way they were proposing it was a mill levy against your property taxes. I sat down with Jamie and Amanda Sawyer, who's our council person, at my house with another person. I said, so you mean to tell me that if we have security under you now, and a security van drives past my house 3 times a day, no different than the house next to me, that I'm going to pay 5 times as much for that security van because it's based on my property value for the same service? I said that is absolutely outrageous.
Oh my gosh,
and
Dana.
So now,
Dana, let's go to break. I'm talking with Dana Bush, and regarding this GID, and I'm not giddy about that GID, Dana Bush, at all. Well, yeah, thanks, Kurt Gerwitz. But, boy, we see this assault on businesses, taking more money out of people's pockets. They're going to tax people out of their homes is what's going to happen. But we have these discussions because of our sponsors. Another industry that they're going after provides us with reliable, efficient, affordable, and abundant power, and that is the oil, natural gas, and coal industries. And I thank Laramie Energy for their gold sponsorship of the show. So that we can continue to shed light on all of these different things that are occurring. And then there is opportunity in owning property is inherent in the American idea. And if you want to own your own home and you're looking for a home or a new build, or you want to sell your home, reach out to Karen Levine.
Property is surely a right of mankind, as real as liberty, wrote Founding Father John Adams. RE/MAX Realtor Karen Levine has been working diligently at the local, county, state, and national levels to protect property rights and home ownership. Karen has navigated the often challenging Colorado metro real estate market for years. Karen Levine is the trusted professional for you to turn to when you are buying or selling your home, considering a new build, or exploring investment opportunities. Realtor Karen Levine, you want her on your side of the table. Call Karen at 303-877-7516. That's 303-877-7516.
The Second Amendment was established to ensure that all individuals have the right to resist oppression, stand firm against government overreach, and protect our ability to defend ourselves, our families, and our freedoms. Today, that right is under relentless attack in Colorado. Colorado's premier grassroots Second Amendment organization, the Second Syndicate, is on the front lines, fighting to preserve and protect your constitutional rights. We expose the most pressing threats to the Second Amendment and provide the education, resources, and tools to stay informed, empowered, and prepared. Join the movement, protect your rights. Visit thesecondsyndicate.com. That's thesecondsyndicate.com, where the second is first.
It's in the middle of summer and our AC just went out.
Hey, don't worry about it. I got a guy.
And the basement flooded, and there's the kitchen remodel.
Forget about it. I got a guy.
Honey, it's hard to trust you when you use that voice.
Sorry, I had something in my throat. It's not just any guy. It's Ben's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They bring craftsmanship, common sense, and integrity. Call or text at 303-995-1636, 303-995-1636.
There's so much noise coming at us. Sometimes it is difficult to make sense of it all. How can you sift through the clamor for your attention and get to the truth? The Kim Monson Show is here to help. Kim searches for truth and clarity by examining issues through the lens of freedom versus force versus freedom. Tune in to The Kim Monson Show each weekday, 6 to 8 a.m. with encores 1 to 2 p.m. and 10 to 11 p.m. on KLZ 560 a.m., KLZ 100.7 FM. The KLZ website, the KLZ app, and Alexa. Play KLZ. Shows can also be found at KimMonson.com, Spotify, and iTunes.
All of Kim's sponsors are an inclusive partnership with Kim and are not affiliated with or in partnership with KLZ or Crawford Broadcasting. If you would like to support the work of the Kim Monson Show and grow your business, contact Kim at her website, KimMonson.com. That's Kim Monson, MONSON.com.
I definitely have Friday on my mind, but I also have property rights on my mind. And in studio with me is Kurt Gerwitz, Professor Gerwitz. This is something else. But before I get all the greetings done, I didn't do two things, the word of the day. But we can use this big time. Sophistry. And it's spelled S-O-P-H-I-S-T-R-Y. Could be plausible, but fallacious argumentation. I think we're hearing some sophistry regarding this issue that Dana Bush is shedding light on regarding GIDs, General Improvement Districts. It could also be the art or process of reasoning and logic. And our quote of the day comes from the Medal of Honor quote book, which you should have on your Freedom Library, in your Freedom Library at home. You can order it by going to AmericanValueCenter.org. The center is located in Pueblo. Then one of the things they do is honor our Medal of Honor recipients, and on Friday we always will share that quote. And this is from George C. Lang, United States Army Medal of Honor recipient, born 1947, died 2005 for actions taken during the Vietnam War, February 22, 1969. He said this: "May God bless each of us always, and may each of us always strive to be worthy of his blessings." And I love that. Okay, Kurt Gerwitz, let's get right into it. We have Dana Bush on the line. She's talking about a GID, a General Improvement District, which probably would be paid for by an additional increase in property taxes. And when the people in Denver look at what they're paying for property taxes, significant amount, and then the city, she's in North Cherry Creek, but there's, when I drive around, there's crime, it's dirty, dangerous. North Cherry Creek's pretty nice, but what's your thoughts on all this, Kurt?
Where's the money go? You know, when I was in my 20s and ideological and trying to thought that my ideas could fix the world, someone said to me, whenever you see a system of injustice, ask yourself who's benefiting from it. And it reminds me of you, one of my favorite quotes from you, Kim, is because I am so long, not interested in politics, or I get disgusted by how the sausage gets made. Like I get sick to my stomach hearing about what's happening at Voila and what's happening in this GID. And so I check out. That's my defense mechanism, and it's like so I'm not interested in politics. And you would say to me that politics is interested in you,
and it is. And I will share this. I've done this before, and this was by Martha Gellhorn. She was an American novelist, writer, and journalist, born 1908, died in 1998. She said, "People often say with pride, 'I'm not interested in politics.' They might as well say, 'I'm not interested in my standard of living, my health, my job, my rights, my freedoms, my future, or any future. If we mean to keep any control over our world and lives, we must be interested in politics.'" She nails it. And Dana Bush is a citizen activist and has really shedding light on this. And as you mentioned, the consultants get paid typically pretty healthy sums to be consultants to all this. I don't know the exact amount here with this, but I've seen from a historical standpoint, that's the occasion or the occurrence. But Dana Bush, you and your neighbors are organizing and saying, no, we don't need to do this. And you connected such a great dot. The sophistry of them coming in saying to you that, oh, all of the money will stay right here in your district and it won't go anyplace else. And you're like, well, if that's the case, we say we don't want it, so why are you pushing it, right?
Yeah. Well, and part of that, too, is why it shouldn't be necessary for you to lump us into this larger area. Because, and we've said to them, you want to go forward with this GID in this much larger footprint that the whole thing encompasses, that's great. But we should have the right, as a residential area that you have defined, to pull ourselves out. We don't want it. We don't need it. About the only thing we've ever talked about as a neighborhood is security. Country Club hires a private company that does a great job. They manage it. They get to choose the contractor. It's voluntary. Why in a million years would we look at this current government that is a dumpster fire of financial irresponsibility and lawlessness manage any more of our money than they absolutely have to? And so it's crazy, and as a lot of people say, and I think it goes to your word of the day, they have a solution looking for a problem.
But somebody makes money on it. To your point, Kurt Gerwitz, somebody makes money. So you got the problem, the solution. For example, homelessness in Denver. John Hickenlooper said, we're going to put more money into these programs and we'll get rid of homelessness. Then Mayor Mike Johnston, Hancock, they've all put more money into the homelessness issue. It's becoming a homelessness industrial complex. People are making a lot of money on it, and you put more money into something, you're going to get more of it. And look at the streets of Denver. Yeah. Well, and what's outrageous, to an example with that, the GID that was set up around Ballpark, which is the baseball stadium, also created by Jamie Gillis, it took them 3 times to pass it, and I could go down the whole rabbit hole of who's allowed to vote and all of that kind of stuff. But their entire budget is going towards paying 21 people to work almost 24 hours a day, cleaning up feces, intervening with homeless, calling the police. Now, when you tell me that these GIDs are set up to provide things in your area the city would never provide you, something like that's outrageous. That neighborhood, in my opinion, feels like in order for us to salvage our neighborhood and make it livable and safe, because of the city's policies and what they're not doing and how they're handling things, we have no choice but to take our own money and hire people to do that and to do the city's job. And it's outrageous. Now, with us, they want to shove things like, oh, you want flower pots on every corner managed by the city. Are you kidding me? In a time like we're in, this is what you're trying to do in our neighborhood? And yes, so the consultant has already been paid $15,000 out of our city council budget. This next chunk, I'm waiting for that figure, but we expect when all is said and done that she'll walk away with probably $100,000 just for the process of going through the motions out of city council budget. Well, and how does the city council get that budget? How does city council, this is the thing people, I don't think, connect. How do they fund, how does the city council fund all this? And people may say, well, I don't own property, so, but you actually will, well, this is another rabbit hole. In a free market, you would be paying for higher property taxes if you're renting, except then you have Mike Johnston and company subsidizing some rents. The developer, most times, and each deal is different, but the developer normally will get market rents for all this stuff that they're building. But there are people that don't pay market rent because of whatever. Yeah. And so who is paying that difference between what the renter is paying and the developer is getting? Well, it's the taxpayer. But yes, but the other thing that's unfair is the other renters that are paying full fare. It's almost like an income redistribution. They have to pay full fare. These people don't. But my point is government doesn't create anything. It takes money either sales tax, property tax, fees, and we have got to get to a point to say no to this. No new debt, no on this data.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing that has become a very heated issue in our residential area is we have a neighborhood association. We definitely, and they have, and they're crumbling now because they've actually chosen to take a neutral position, although their neutral position is now coming across as in favor of forcing this GID on us, even though their mission statement is all about protecting our neighborhood, standing up to zoning and our member benefits. And so it's absolutely outrageous. In fact, 4 of us were finally given permission to speak for 20 minutes to our board yesterday about this. And it's just, and quite frankly, we feel that there's 2 for sure, 1 woman on that who happens to sit on 2 of them sit on the steering committee that's been planning this for a long time, well before coming to the neighborhood. Another one sits on the Denver Moves, which is a bus thing coming to our neighborhood, and transportation solutions. And she's a consultant, and she's a former attorney. And so we also have lots of questions about conflict of interest. Amanda Sawyer has told us that she is not running again. So is she looking for a position? Does she want to run this thing, this outrageously large, crazy, convoluted? Because now they're needing to figure out how they might charge us for these little services. Is it by lot size now? Is it going to be by square footage? Is it going to be by sidewalk, square footage? And
you're on a corner. If it's a sidewalk, you're really going to get dinged on that. Dana, we need to go to break. Stay on with us. Kurt Gerwitz, I'm going to throw it over to you when we come back, just because I can see the wheels are moving in your brain there as well. These discussions, we have discussions here, my friends, that you are not hearing most other places. And we're independent, and we are standing up for you, the individual, regarding your property rights and your right to be able to live freely, but responsibly, for sure. And I thank our sponsors for making this happen. If you've been injured, reach out to John Bozen and Bozen Law.
You don't have to suffer the consequences of someone else's negligence on your own. The attorneys at Bozen Law have extensive experience handling all types of personal injury and wrongful death claims involving motor vehicle accidents, medical malpractice, defective products, catastrophic injuries, and more. Bozen Law also assists clients with matters related to workers' compensation and Social Security Disability, SSD. Bozen Law takes pride in truly getting to know their clients and genuinely cares about helping you seek the justice you deserve. Call Bozen Law at 303-999-9999 for a complimentary consultation. That number is 303-999-9999. Call Bozen Law now.
Focused and wise marketing is essential for your success, especially during tough economic times. If you love The Kim Monson Show, strive for excellence and understand the importance of engaging in the battle of ideas that is raging in America, then talk with Kim about partnership, sponsorship opportunities. Email Kim at kimmonson.com. Kim focuses on creating relationships with individuals and businesses that are tops in their fields. So they are the trusted experts listeners turn to when looking for products or services. Kim personally endorses each of her sponsors. Again, reach out to Kim at kimmonson.com.
Franktown Firearms, in conjunction with Colorado CQB, will prepare you for real-world defense of your life and property. Imagine you get home and walk through your front door and something seems off. A smell, a noise, a shadow that shouldn't be there. What you do next makes all the difference. Franktown's Shoot House is the only facility of its kind in Colorado where they run live action scenarios using airsoft. Real rooms, real cover, and real training with highly qualified instructors. And their training is available for people of all skill levels, including you. For June and July, when you sign up for a range membership at Franktown, you're automatically enrolled in CQB for free. You'll get discounted firearm classes, concealed handgun training, and more. Classes at CQB fill up quickly, so sign up now while you can. Go to klzradio.com/Franktown and click on the CQB link to learn more. Or just send them a question through the online form. Franktown Firearms, where friends are made.
Yes, it is Friday, and next Saturday on the 23rd, I will be out at the USMC Memorial for their 48th anniversary celebration. I will be emceeing the event, and David Bray, Marine, I can't remember exactly how to say it. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. You're not a retired Marine, but he's not serving active duty. Joe can probably tell me exactly how I refer to that. But David Bray will be performing, and so it'll be a great event. You can buy your tickets by going to usmcmemorialfoundation.org, usmcmemorialfoundation.org. We are talking with Dana Bush. She is shedding light on something. And we've been running that spot from Mike Rollick with Ralston Valley Coalition, where he says, when the bulldozers show up, it's too late. So Dana Bush, when the flower pots show up, ostensibly on your corner, it's too late, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just, and again, what is so upsetting, in particular in our neighborhood, although I can tell you, the individuals in these other blocks are just as outraged. We just happen to have a very strong coalition of individuals fighting this. But what is it about know that you don't understand? What is it about over 65% of us say we're not interested? And when we mean we're not interested, there's nothing to talk about. Why would we waste more money, more time, more resources doing focus groups to have a conversation around things we don't want to have the city manage, we don't want to have a conversation about? And this is, what you talked about in kind of this disingenuous way of surveying people, this disingenuous way of these groups, because they will want to then take any little morsel they have as justification. They've already done it. And so so when you feel not heard, and the other thing that's happening in the neighborhood, because there's a lot of people that don't even know this is happening, and then there are people who have heard these survey results, and they think the thing is over, which makes sense. Their thought is they can do simple math. Over 65% of people don't want this, so it should be done. And that's one of the rumors that's going around that we're now having to navigate. It's like, this isn't done. Yes, it should be done. And you should be asking why. Why is it still moving forward, which is the bigger agenda? I quite frankly think that this is in part a way to navigate the financial destruction that's going on in Denver. It's a way to increase control of government. And I think that they would like to form one of these so they're butt to butt over the whole city. And then what can happen is then you get in this, she gave an example in the business district, because there's also bids, which are purely commercial. There's the business district in Cherry Creek has had one forever. They now are taking over some things that the city's responsible for doing. For example, bagging parking meters. We can't afford to not have as much parking as available for people who are coming to the Cherry Creek shopping area on the weekends. But the city will bag on a Friday for work being done on a Monday. So now the business district, out of their own budget, is taking on that responsibility. So I see this as a slippery slope that once you get stuck in one of these, then it pushes that issue. Oh, well, you know what? You don't like how we do it? You can do it. You can pay for it. And once they lock us in, then they can project roughly how much money is going to be had. And then, again, do they write a bond issue against us? Do they pull us into one of these city working projects? One of our core group members, Wayne New, he's very loved and respected in our neighborhood. He was our city council person for, I think, 6 years. He was head of our neighborhood association for 8. And, so he knows some of the inside baseball around all of these things. And the whole thing is very disconcerting. And again, we look at what's going on economically around the country, but in our state, every time I turn around, we are in the wrong direction when it comes to anything financial. And so now you want, at this time, out of any time, to force this kind of thing on us, especially for things that are just outrageously ridiculous. Like, we would much rather our city council person, Amanda Sawyer, take that money and do something of value for our area in it, especially with how tragic Denver is when it comes to nearly everything these days.
Well, but Dana, we're about out of time, but you and I talked about your property tax bill. This would make your property tax bill go up. I don't think that we should have Amanda Sawyer take any more of your money. I think you should keep your own money. If you want to put a flower pot out in front of your house, you should be able to do that, but that is not the proper role of government. Kurt, I want to give you a minute, and then we'll let Dana have a minute to button up.
Well, the road to heck is full of good intentions, so there has to be, what I see is that seed of goodness that they're using to, that's wrapped in it's actually a poison pill, because, they call it a general improvement district. Who doesn't want general improvement, right? And if it didn't have some good, it would have no chance. If you came in and just said, I'm a Disney villain and I'm, wearing a black hat, everybody would it'd be so easy to oppose it. And so they control the narrative, and they use language to do so. And, I'm amazed at how, Dana, you can, that you have the time to do this. Like, you're just playing.
She doesn't.
Yeah, no one has the time for this. You're just playing defense against people who are trying to line their own pockets. Or the narrative I heard was someone's trying to get themselves the next job.
So, Dana, and controlling the language, that's what these working groups are. That's what the surveys do. How would you like to button this up? We've got about 30 seconds.
On
a website. Be sure and give that.
Yes. Stop the GID in ccn.com. We have an article in the Glendale Chronicle, one in the Denver Gazette, and we were featured on Channel 4 News. And all those links can be found on our website. But what I'm encouraging people is if you don't want to lose your rights and your freedoms in your area, you need to wake up and you need to start doing something. And yes, do I have time to do this? No, but the alternative is the destruction of my community and the destruction of our country. And so there is a way for everyone to get involved in something that you're passionate about to save our communities and save our country. And so that's what I'm doing here today, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Dana Bush, thank you. In the spirit of our founding, thank you. And our quote's so appropriate. It says, this is Robert Louis Stevenson. He said, everyday courage has few witnesses, but yours is no less noble because no drum beats for you and no crowds shout your name. So today, be grateful, read great books, think good thoughts, listen to beautiful music, communicate and listen well, live honestly and authentically, strive for high ideals, and like Superman, stand for truth, justice, and the American way. My friends, you are not alone. God bless you, and God bless America.
But tell them if I don't survive.
The views and opinions expressed on KLZ 560 are those of the speaker, commentators, hosts, their guests, and callers. They are not necessarily the views and opinions of Crawford Broadcasting or KLZ management, employees, associates, or advertisers. KLZ 560 is a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.